Oh, wow. Have a bit of that, why don't you? What a final day of the Premier League season. That was pretty emotional from start to finish. United, of course, getting a victory against Leicester 1-0 to claim a Champions League place. But not only that, to claim third place in the league this season, which is bonkers. Let's just quickly go back to November, December when we couldn't put a pass together. We couldn't win football matches. We couldn't even grind out a positive result, a draw, anything. And all of a sudden, here we are at the end of the season. Mental season, by the way. Coronavirus breaks, just crazy season. And we finish in third place. Now, I'll stick to what I say. I don't think we should be downing 100 points and getting off our face and demanding an open top bus parade for finishing third. But one thing that I think we should be doing is applauding and actually saying well done to a Manchester United manager, because what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done to get this team from where they were in November to where we are now is just an incredible achievement. And no matter what happens throughout Ole's reign, at the start of this season, we're all talking about how this United side was the worst Manchester United side in Premier League history. Maybe it's amongst some of the worst sides of the club's history. I mean, not the worst, but some of the worst. And we finished third. He's managed to bring us to finish third. Incredible achievement by Ole. Chelsea, of course, I think also got the win against Wolves. So that means obviously Leicester just missed out on the Champions League place. We've even finished above Chelsea, by the way. Chelsea and Frank Lampard, who are getting all the plaudits for what they've done this season, and we finished above them. We finished third. If there was a podium, we'd be third place on that podium. I mean, it's not too bad, is it? It's not a shabby season. Of course, we could have done better. Liverpool won the league. I'm never going to celebrate United finishing anywhere but above Liverpool, especially when they're at the top of the pile. But oh my word, what an achievement. Get your comments in, guys. You can use the live chat on Periscope. If you're watching through Twitter, use the live chat. If you want to tweet me at All For United. And on top of that as well, if you're on YouTube, youtube.com/All For United, please use the comment box and get involved with the show because we're going to be getting some Reds on from all around the world to chat about the game today. To chat about finishing third. We've gone out to the United contributors, and I'm sure they're going to be All For United contributors, and I'm sure they're going to be jumping on too. So make sure you hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. We're going to get to them. First of all, should we hit on the game though? What did you make of that? What did you make of that game today? How did we perform? Let me know in the live chat, because I personally thought we were pretty poor from start to finish, but we managed to grind out a result, and I think that's actually quite an important aspect to any team, is to grind out a result. I said before the game in the preview this morning, I was slightly worried about United under Ole when we go into a big game. And it still stays that way because we seem to struggle every single time. Chelsea drop points, we drop points. You know, when we're playing after them, we can never pick up the momentum from another team losing, or for us to have to go out onto that pitch and get something. And the same in the semi-finals against City, the same in the semi-final against Chelsea. I was really worried about the mentality going into this game, but the lads did it. They done what they needed to do. And I'm pretty chuffed that we managed to get the 3 points today, because I thought, you know, knowing the score at half time in the Chelsea Wolves game and knowing that the Leicester players will know exactly what's going on, I thought they were going to absolutely throw the kitchen sink at us in the second half, and they were going to completely overwhelm. Well, let's face it, at times it's been a really shaky defence, a really shaky United defence, but a colossal second half performance by Victor Lindelof. Can we just put some credit on Lindelof's name tonight, please? I thought Lindelof today, man of the match, superb. Absolutely superb, especially in that second half when we needed him. Khalid Kieran, who says, excellent result. Yes, brilliant result, Kieran. What did you make of the performance today, though? Let's just jump in and chat about that. I mean, let's face it, who gives a shit? But still, we've managed to grind out the 3 points and finish where we need to. He also agrees that Lindelof's man of the match. Yeah, let us know what you think. Who do you think should be man of the match today? Actually, I'm going to set up a poll now on the Twitter. If you go to @AllForUnited, let's jump in here and let's put out, who was United's man of the match today? I mean, who's other contenders? I mean, I thought Martial held up the ball well. Again, thought Lindelof was brilliant. I thought Maguire was good. And again, I think Nemanja Matic, although at times was slow, He was all right today, wasn't he? He was all right today. So I think let's get that poll up. Let's get those guys in. You can go and vote for a man of the match now at All for United. And I'm going to put here that we're discussing on the show. Come and join in. Come and join in. This is what happens when we're live. And I'm having to tweet whilst live. This is what happens. Hello to Dan, who says, "What? Why? Why are you FFSing at what? At the man of the match? At the result? What's wrong, Dan? Come on, tell us. What's wrong? What's gone wrong?" We are live right now, so make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/All for United. As I said, we're going to get reactions from Reds. We're just waiting for them to come through. Also, if you want to join the show, you can do. Just get in the chat and we'll discuss your points. Hello to Kieran. He says, need to let some of the young lads play in the Europa League and let them enjoy it. So would you completely forget the Europa League now? Personally, it's a chance at silverware. We've got to go for it. I'm not a football fan to sit here and watch us grind out a third place in the league over 30, 40 games. I'm here to watch us win trophies, which is why I was so disappointed that we threw the FA Cup like we did when there was no guarantee. I wouldn't throw the Europa League. I'll be telling them, I'll be saying, right, you cemented third place. That's good. Now let's go and make this an incredible end to the season. Go and win some silverware. Go and win the Europa League. Surely you can't throw it. Surely not. I mean, I don't mind making a few changes, bringing on a few subs, but I'm not for throwing it. I wouldn't throw the Europa League. Dan's just jumped in as well here, saying Matic was good, a great base for the youngsters. I agree. I thought Nemanja Matic was brilliant today. He also broke up play really, really well. Do you know what I was most surprised at with Matic today? Is I thought the last few he's looked leggy. But today I thought he was a powerhouse in the side. I actually think that he in the end looked like he had more about him than potentially Pogba. Bruno obviously picked up a knock early on, but I would say Matic is deserving on there. A couple of people saying Maguire, why is he in there? I just think United structurally today played really well. Martial through the middle was solid. He held up the ball well. He got us going on a few attacks. Matic done a good job in that middle of the park area. He nullified Tielemans quite a lot. He only had a few real eyes at goals, Tielemans, and didn't really make a difference, did he, in that area of the pitch? And Maguire and Lindelof were solid. We kept a clean sheet at Leicester. Jamie Vardy's just won the Golden Boot. He didn't really get a sniff. I mean, that header would have been the jammiest goal of the season. He didn't mean to do that. But yeah, I thought our whole spine today was pretty good. I was slightly disappointed with Wan-Bissaka again today. I don't know what's happened to him. I think he needs a rest. But his passing wasn't off. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Wan-Bissaka, he always, every single game steps back. He every single game has a moment where he loses concentration, and that ball either goes out of play and he misses a touch, or his pass. He just has a rubbish pass in him every single game. Hello to Patrick Ward, who's on with us. He says, well, we didn't half look drained, did we? The lads in charge of the fitness need a talking to. We can't keep relying on the first 11. Happy with the result, though. Yeah, again, if on the first moment, I do completely agree. I feel like this is why I think Matic deserves a shout for man of the match, because I felt like he looked like the fittest out of the lot of them. Again, Wan-Bissaka, is he shot because he's fit? Is it confidence? What is it? But yeah, I don't know, Patrick. I mean, there was whispers coming out when we started the restart with that poor result against Spurs, really, in the grand scheme of things, that United were the fittest side in the league. You're looking at us now and we don't look like the fittest side in the league. So have we peaked on the training pitch potentially? I mean, they're professional footballers. Fitness shouldn't be an excuse, but we have played a lot of football and it does look like fatigue. You can't be a side who's unbeaten in 20 games in the Premier League. We've lost 1 in 21 or something in all competitions. That team cannot be drained of confidence. So why are we starting games like we are, and why are we making silly mistakes in possession and on the ball? Just going back quickly to what Kieran was saying earlier on about the Europa League, he's saying that we should look at playing a team with a few youngsters in there, making changes like Romero, Laird, Bailey, Lindelof, Timbo, Fred, McTominay, Garner, James, Chong, Igalo, maybe Greenwood too. Again, I still play the strongest 11. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll play Romero in goal. I like Romero. Hello to Syrian, who says, what do you think about Rashford and Williams' performance? Again, two players who Williams just hasn't done enough for me whenever he's played. since Shaw picked up the injury. So that's 2 games now, isn't it? Fosu-Mensah played there. Last 2 games, Williams for me hasn't looked great at all. I think he's sloppy in possession. He definitely isn't as good going forward. He doesn't take up enough forward positions for the likes of Pogba and Bruno to sort of pick out that wide wing back, so to speak. And Rashford again. I've said this since the start of the restart. He's been told to play different, and I think that restricts Rashford a little bit more than it puts impetus on him. I do think that Rashford is a confidence player. I think he needs to score goals every game. Otherwise, he gets frustrated. Otherwise, he puts his head down. Otherwise, if he's not scored within 80 minutes and he hasn't been terrific throughout that whole start of the game, he tends to put his head down and then you don't see much from him. So, yeah, I would say I was slightly disappointed with Rashford again today. But again, these are, you talk about Rashford, Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Williams, you could throw his name in there, maybe Maguire's name in there. These are all players who have played non-stop since the restart, and they all haven't looked 100%, have they? So it could be fatigue, it could be legginess. So we just have to wait and see. Let's go over to Kieran again, who's just said, but they need a bit of rest also. I'll bring in the first team lads and mix it and match them. I suppose, yeah, against Lask, we can make wholesale changes. We're 5-0 up, aren't we, Kieran? I think we are. 5-0 up. So, yeah, against Lask, you can make some changes. It'd be good to see Juan Mata play as well. He hasn't had a sniff since the restart, has he, Juan? So it'd be good to see him play. Jesse Lingard scoring today, guys. Lingardinho. Lionel Lingard. Cristiano Lingardo. Something like that, anyway. I mean, goal of the season. Goal of the season. Maybe he comes in. I saw Stretford Paddock actually put out a tweet saying it might be his last game for his boyhood club. I can't see us selling Lingard. As much as, yeah, and Jack Grealish scored today, by the way, for Villa. But Villa have stayed up, so how much money are Villa going to want for Grealish now? Yeah, I still think, we could potentially bring in better players than Jesse Lingard. I mean, maybe this summer is the right time to move on. Maybe not. Again, Patrick, yeah, on that, I don't know. Do you guys see Jesse Lingard as a United player next season? What do you think? I do. I can't see him going anywhere next season. But maybe in a couple, maybe the season after next, he might disappear. Anyway, we've got about 15 minutes left on the clock. I've been rambling. Let's go over to some guests, shall we? And see what Red's thinking. Let's go with Semps. Let's bring you in, buddy. How are you doing?
What's happening? I'm good. How are you?
Good, mate. You've got the red jersey on. You must be pretty happy with that. How much during the game today were you going, come on, United, come on?
I was just telling my brother a second ago, through the second half, I was sitting there, I was thinking, do other people feel it the way I'm feeling this right now? My heart was beating, and I'm just like,
I'm also not a religious guy, but I find myself praying during games like that today. Like, I literally look up to the sky, just like, please help. But yeah, it's. Should we focus on the performance before we come into the actual really success of the season at this stage? Now, I think we can call it that. Today again, I just thought we struggled our way through the game. We done it the hard way, didn't we?
Yeah, it was the same against West Ham. I think you can see the tactics was to let our wide players have the ball, and we just struggled to go through the middle and break them down. So, to be honest with you, I think that the players are tired. You can see it. As Gary Neville spoke about it, that it's been like that since Southampton. Personally, I believe we showed that against Aston Villa. If it wasn't for that penalty that we got with Bruno Fernandes, we started that game slowly as well. So I think the tiredness started to creep in even from then. And we've limped over the line, but the main thing is, and also you play well, you get the 3 points when you don't play well. That's also a sign of a good team. And we've got a long way to go before we're the team of the Fergie days, but you can see there's something about this 11. They're more resilient. So I think going forward now is if we can start to strengthen, get a few bodies to that bench, because you can see Ollie struggling with the bench. You can see he doesn't really trust anybody there. If we can now start to add a few more bodies to this team, we can then start to build.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you. And obviously Techi first half going into the second half. Does Bruno Fernandes miss penalties, by the way, Semps?
No, he doesn't, because he takes them in a way that he won't miss, because he watches the keeper, waits for the keeper to move, and then he puts it in the other direction. There was one, I think it might have been the Villa game actually, when he took the penalty, and he didn't do that penalty. He did a different one where he just hit it, and I was more worried there. But with these type of penalties, he's not going to miss. That doesn't mean that I wasn't nervous though.
I was as well. My heart was pumping, to be honest. I just want to jump on a comment here that Lil Red Devil 5 has put in, and it'd be good to get your view on this, sense, because we were talking earlier on. Lil Red Devil 5 says this 11 has been the best we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson days. I actually completely disagree with that. I don't think on paper it is not. This 11, well, apart from Bruno, this 11 at the start of the season, everyone was saying is potentially the worst we've had since post Sir Alex Ferguson days. Just because of how we finished the season, we cannot now completely change our minds on that. We are miles away still. I still think we need a centre-back. I still think, even though we've missed Shaw, I still think we could potentially, if there's a left-back out there, we could do better than Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's a solid player, but I'd never say he's world-class. I would also say that Nemanja Matic, before he signed that contract extension, had a brilliant return. We was all offering to take him to the airport and help him and find his next club. All of a sudden, he's turned up for United. And although I don't want to be negative, I want to say what I'm trying to say here is I think what Ollie has achieved here with this squad, and Semps, you can go into more detail about this, is a brilliant achievement at this stage.
Well, I said at the beginning of the season, to be honest, that I thought this squad and team was good enough to get top four, and the reasoning that I gave was last season our problem wasn't scoring goals, it was conceding goals. I can't remember the stats now, but we conceded far too many, but scored on the level of a Chelsea, on the level of a Spurs, I think it was, or one off. So in my mind, I was saying if we could sort the defense, and we did with adding in Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka, we would still get the goals that we needed to get into the top four. Because at the very beginning, I've always believed in Martial, I believed in Rashford, and I actually believed in Greenwood as well. Yes, we lost Lukaku, but I thought those guys would step up. Now, I think what was evident this season, because we started well, even though we didn't quite win, Wolves, Crystal Palace, we didn't win those games. But the performances weren't bad. Do you know what I mean? They weren't bad, and you could still see what we were trying to do. So I still thought we could do something. But where I think we lost it was the creativity sense. When Pogba got injured, Matic got injured, Scott McTominay got injured. All we had was Fred. We weren't creating anything. And then when Bruno came in, then you start to see that those players like your Rashfords, your Martials, all they needed was a little bit of service, somebody on their wavelength, and they can do the business. And I think we're still a long way off from where we need to be. I 100% agree with that. But this is what the progression is about. This is what the rebuild is about. And I think getting top four was vital to that, because being in the Champions League is what now helps you get those better players. So I don't think it's necessarily on paper the best team that we've had, since Fergie, but it's definitely up there with the way everything included, with Ollie included, with the energy that we've got around the club, the confidence, and just quickly, I watched Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on that High Performance podcast, and you just hearing the way he talks. He gets it, and I think that might be the difference to what we've had previously.
Yeah, no, Semps, you're talking a load of sense, mate. Thank you for coming on. Really, really appreciate it. And welcome. Get in there, United, third place finish, eh? Who would you have as your man in the match, by the way, today?
Today, I would give it to Victor. I will give it to Victor. I thought he was quite solid today. I'm not his biggest fan, but I'll give it to him.
Good shout. Semps, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you coming on. See you more on the channel soon.
Keep going.
Mate. Appreciate it. I managed to fill about 15 minutes of this start of the show. I'm actually quite proud of myself.
You've done great.
Semps, appreciate it. Get in there, United. Cheers, Semps. Appreciate it. Let's bring Neil into the stream, shall we? Neil, before I come over and chat to you, Amy Revel, if you want to come on as well, give me a shout over Twitter DMs. Third place. Who would have thought we would have got third place in the first half of the season? Well done, United, and well done, Ollie. Few more signings we need for sure, though. A man says I'm buzzing, but we need to improve massively. Nithin George says transfer window is officially open tomorrow. Get in. And hello to Patrick, who says we're Manchester United. I find I'm not happy with top fours. We're most definitely too far off where we should be. At least 3 players needed. Neil, happy with where we finished the season?
Oh yeah, remarkable, really. I didn't feel that nervous today, weirdly. I did my usual superstitions, which is never wear anything red on a match day. I won't tell you what I was wearing that was red this morning. I had to go and have a shower and get changed again, but that's a whole different story. It's well before the watershed. I was very confident in us today, to be honest, because I look at the backroom staff. I look at Carrick, been there, done it. I look at Solskjaer, has been there, done it. I looked at the front five. And yes, they looked exhausted, but God, we should be beating a team like Leicester. I mean, we should be beating Leicester home and away any day of the week. I mean, yes, they've had a good season. Just shows how poor a season we've had. If people were umming and ahhing about us beating Leicester, we should be steamrolling clubs like that. No disrespect to Leicester. Well, I don't care if he's disrespectful to Leicester. We're Man United, and that's what we're about.
Well, on that.
Sorry,
Neil, I was just going to say on that, you're talking about that we should have steamrolled this Leicester team. We didn't steamroll this Leicester team today.
We didn't, but even when it was 0-0, I've got to be honest, I was watching the game. My girlfriend decided to go out for the afternoon with her daughter to their horse. And I was bizarrely quite calm. I was thinking, Martin Tyler, there's another show, by the way, for me. You want to get me on about Sky Sports? God, did they want Leicester to score or what? Martin Tyler was just... All he was talking about was if Leicester score. I was thinking, well, they've got to have a couple of shots for a start. We look great. The defence looked good. Bissaka's cool as a cucumber. He's. I've said it before on Twitter. He could go on to be the best right back this club's ever had. Big statement, and I'm happy to. I think that will come true because he's a brilliant defender. Lindelof was outstanding today. Maguire looked a little bit rabbit in the headlights, but that's going back to his old club and trying to impress. Leicester obviously decided to let Brandon Williams have as much of the ball as possible. I think it would have been different if Shaw had been playing. But at the end of the day, we didn't concede a goal, and we've come away there 2-0. And I'd send everybody off to the beach for 2 weeks now and say I don't want anybody near the Europa League.
Oh, Neil.
No. Because we got to make a charge for the league.
Neil, we need to win trophies. If we're in a trophy, we need to win trophies, Neil. We can't.
I probably said that a week ago we should be in. But we've got into the Champions League. We're dining at the top table. And I think there's 5 or 6 players that play today, minimum, that shouldn't pull on a pair of boots for about 4 to 5 weeks because we looked exhausted.
Do you know what?
I've slightly backtracked on what I originally said. And people can say that, but I still think, Martial, Rashford looked a bit tired. I don't know whether all the stuff he did in the lockdown initially has just sort of drained him, and I wouldn't be surprised because I think he's sports personality of the year, by the way. Another quick tip for later in the year. Sports personality.
Him or Fury, innit? Probably.
Oh, I can't be Fury. Don't start. No, don't start. Let's not go there.
But Neil, let me quickly hit on one thing because this is probably a debate for another time. But when it comes to Europa League and when it comes to that, there's so many arguments around. Should we bid it? Should we play the kids? Well, even Kieran made the point today. I completely get it. I understand why people are saying that. But also, there's an argument for staying consistent now because we've had a 7-8 week break already, although it was sort of pushed on us. The boys can now go and have potentially a 2 week break because let's face it, the last side we don't need to put out a strong 11.
You could play me and you could play.
I could line up for United and we could do all right for that.
I imagine you've got the wand of a right foot as well, Ben.
Mate, and a left.
I've got the left foot. I just need someone right-sided.
But also, on that, there's also an argument for the more consistent we can stay. And if we can pick up the pace during the Europa League, win a trophy come the end of August, then we're potentially going into the league season 3-4 weeks later, when the Premier League announced that we get a bit of a longer break, with a lot of confidence. So, you sort of got to weigh it up a little bit.
And also, by going on that, Grealish should be embedded in the side by then as well.
And you can't wait for that.
Oh.
I honestly don't think I don't think Grealish should end up at United this summer now. He's just gone and scored.
Ben, you're just saying that to keep on my good books, aren't you?
No, I'd actually like him at United.
You're the first person who's gone, oh, yeah, he's not that good. He scored today as well, didn't he?
No, I'd have him at United. I'd have him at United tomorrow. I wouldn't have him for 60, 70 million, though. I'd have him at United if Aston Villa were relegated. I'd have him at United if if Aston Villa were relegated and it was a 20, 30, 40 million buy, but for 60, 70 million.
Financial fair play, haven't they?
Yeah, so, I suppose so.
Really,
we just have to wait and see.
Another transfer show for another day, but today's about. I've got to be honest. I thought if we get a draw, I'll be happy. But I'm pleased the way we went about it in the second half. I thought Pogba played well. I thought he took he looked like he was taking some responsibility, which he needs to. And maybe this puts all the Pogba chat to bed now that we're in the Champions League. Maybe he decides to want to stay. And like I've said in my article that was on the mighty All for United this morning, we should be spending now. This is the time for us to spend. We've got the Adidas money guaranteed. There's no fall off in the wages. Get the checkbook out, buy 3 or 4 decent players, and let's get one in each position. Let's get Henderson back as well. But that's
three or four decent players and Jack Grealish. That's who Neil wants us to sign this summer. Neil, thank you for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. We'll catch up. I've got to move on because we've got about 10 minutes left. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Appreciate you coming on. We've got a couple of people waiting and we need to fly through. What's up, Flawless? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, man. What's going on? You good?
Mate, I'm all right. Like I'm not overly hyped. I'm all right. I'm happy. I just hope Ollie gets the plaudits he deserves for the third place finish.
And I said that that's the first thing I tweeted after the full-time whistle. I said that Ollie deserves him and the players have done very well to finish third, and he deserves his chance at next season. So props to him. I was saying all this on my social media beforehand. I told everybody was acting crazy on social media. Well, not crazy, I should say, but acting wild and being nervous. And I was just like, relax. United will finish in the top 4, and we did that. Easy.
Flawless is like the most chilled United guy on the like United fan on the planet. It's just like, guys, simmer. It's cool. We've got this.
I wish I would have used the word simmer now, but yes, that's what I was telling everybody. Just simmer, just relax. And on the game, we did what we had to do. Like I said, we had 2 shots at it because obviously Chelsea had to beat Wolves first and foremost, and then secondly, Leicester had 6 first team players out, 3 of their first choice back 4. And when you have the 5 that we do in Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Martial, Rashford, one of them is going to produce some form of magic in a game at any given moment to help you win a game or help you draw a game. Obviously, it was a mistake, but it was still a great pass through. Who played the pass again? It was Bruno. Yeah, it was Bruno who played the pass, and then Martial won the penalty. But that's what I'm saying. Bruno wasn't good today, but that pass was an very, very good pass.
That's what you need from him.
And that's literally all you need. And United win the game. Somehow we finished third. I don't know, but we'll get into that. But I want to remain positive. So props to Ollie. Props to the players. Even though I'm not the biggest Ollie fan, he deserves his chance at next season. And I hope we invest correctly, back him correctly, and then can kick on from next season.
On that, Nithin, scenes when United announced Sancho tomorrow, Ben. Yeah. Look, Champions League guaranteed now. United can sign anyone in the world. Like, they literally can. Uncle Stell, big up yourself, mate. How you're right. They opened a completely deflated Leicester. They were hoping for a smash and grab win. Do you know what? I was bricking it at half-time more than I was bricking it at the start of the match, because I thought going in at half-time, knowing that Chelsea have done what they've done late on in that first half, that Leicester would literally go, do you know what? Forget footballing philosophy, forget playing the Brendan Rodgers way, forget about a formation. Do you know what? Every opportunity, defenders up, Kasper Schmeichel get in the box, wing-backs now play as wingers, Graham Barnes get on there and play as inverted forwards with Iheanacho and Vardy. I literally was expecting Leicester to throw the kitchen sink at us. And I don't think they did. It's either that or United defensively were overratedly good. And I suppose Usman and the guys will go into that on tomorrow's breakdown and banter show. But I just thought we still looked solid in that second half, and we didn't look like conceded.
Yeah, because defensively, we are okay. The issues that Manchester United have is we try and play out from the back like we're prime Barcelona, and that causes issues. I counted 4 times, I think, in the first half, Manchester United getting caught on the ball, trying to play it out. Why are we trying to play the ball out from the back? We cause most of the problems for ourselves in terms of from open play. How many saves did De Gea make? You had the Vardy who had the chance when he swung at it with his right and probably should have went with his left. And then obviously Damari Gray, I think Maguire deflected it wide. But minus that, we defended. We are pretty solid defensively. Not many teams batter Manchester United in terms of conceding goals. I can't remember the last time we've conceded three 4 goals or anything like that. Like I know since lockdown we haven't conceded 3 goals. So defensively we are fairly solid. So we cause the issues on ourselves. But like I said, I have to congratulate Ollie and the players for finishing third because they've done a very, very good job.
Yeah, Chris Penn here said third. Who would have thought it? We haven't got much time, Florida, so I'm gonna bring Tom actually into the stream. Tom, are you there, mate? You're right.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good. Happy with that win today?
Gotta be honest, I'm all smiles now. But mate, let's be honest here. It was far from comfortable, is it?
Yeah, no, it's tough on it. It was a tough. Florida, so you still there, mate?
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'll keep you in the stream, but your camera's come off. There you go. There you go. Look, we keep both on the stream at the same time. We've got about 4 minutes, and then I've got to run off. From both of you quickly. So, Tom, Florida's hit on it there, spot on, proper chilled, executed it in the most perfect way. How much of a big deal is this for Ollie? He's got the 3rd place for this finish, and we're going to be playing Champions League football for sure next season.
Mate, this is huge. You got to ask yourself one question, right? Let's rewind back to October, November, or even possibly after, when we all thought we were going to sign some good players in January to help us strengthen because we were struggling. If you'd have said to me back then, United finished 3rd, like even top 4, but 3rd, I'd have said you're absolutely crazy. So I think full credit got to go to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the team. They just dug in. Obviously, Fernandes came in, completely transformed what we did in the midfield, complimented Pogba. Matic turned it round, unbelievable. Start the season, I was saying I don't want him nowhere near the team, but now I think you've got to argue, although we do need another player there, you've still got to keep him in there, and everybody stepped up and they've done everything we could have asked. We're 3rd. I'm absolutely delighted, but I think the biggest word to let's sum it up is relief. We're all relieved right now, and it's just a weird feeling that we're 3rd, Champions League football. Of course, it's not over. We got the Europa League. Let's see what we can do in that now. And in my opinion, pressure's off with that, but let's see where we can go.
Well, it's a fantastic. If the boys go out there, give it their all, it's a freaking fantastic season. If you can put the Europa League in a bag with 3rd place, that's not bad at all. Patrick says, I think hitting on your point, Flawless, our defence has been brilliant. You only need to look at the stats. Most mistakes have been down to De Gea. Is he still worthy of that number 1 slot next season? Well, that is definitely a debate for another day. Flawless shakes his head. Tom's in a confused state where he's like, well, can't blame him anything today. We'll come back to that one because I think also that debate needs to be had when we know what Dean Henderson's going to be doing. If United are going to be bringing Dean Henderson back into the squad, I think you make, especially after the season Dean Henderson's had, him the number 1. But we'll wait and see. We'll
wait and see. I think quickly, I just want to touch on that actually quickly. With De Gea, as good as Romero is as a backup, he's not a world-class challenger to him. And I'm not saying Dean Henderson's world-class. He's not. He's still a young guy. But he needs to be challenged week in, week out to the fact of, hang on, if I don't put performance in, I'm going to lose my jersey. And at the moment, he hasn't got that in a certain sense with Romero, is he? Let's be honest. So let's bring in Hendo, see what he can do. And look, Henderson himself, he's got to be number 1 or at least knocking on the door, or he's going to find himself saying, I want out of Old Trafford.
Yeah. That's one thing with Henderson, I would say. They have to decide quickly what they're going to do. If he's not going to come back, send him back out on loan to Sheffield United and then play Romero first choice and drop De Gea to the bench. I just don't want De Gea being number 1 next season. He's been bad seasons. He needs to be held accountable now.
Like you said there, Flawless, the risk you take though with that as well is that De Gea has an awful start to next season. Henderson has a brilliant start to next season, and then you're in a catch-22 situation where then Romero becomes another year old. You can't get anything for him, and De Gea, you've got to stick with him because you've made that decision. And Dean Henderson's out, and there's nothing you can do. Quickly, because I think we've got to end the show there, lads. Man of the match. I've literally blown smoke up Victor Lindelof's arse for most of this show, to be honest. Flawless, who would you go with today?
You're not blowing smoke up his ass. He was our best player today. I'm not the biggest fan of his, but today he was our best defender and I think our best player because we didn't play too well, but we got the result. That's all that mattered. One about performances today, get the result. So you have to give the Iceman, give Victor Lindelof his credit. He was man of the match for me.
I think there's a fantastic defender in there as well with Victor Lindelof. I really do. I like the way he plays. It's just no nonsense. He doesn't mess about with it. Tom, what about you? What are you thinking?
I agree with you and Flawless, mate. I think Lindelof today didn't put a foot wrong. I thought he was fantastic. I'm of the opinion of as much as we need to go for players like Sancho and maybe another centre forward to challenge Martial, we do need another centre back. But Lindelof today showed that even if we do get one, he's still the player that we think he can be. And fantastic performance. Man of the match, Victor Lindelof all day long.
I've definitely got to do a show on this whole topic. Do we need another centre back? Because I'm of a different opinion. I don't think we do.
Yeah,
but we'll come on to that.
Yeah,
we'll
you
come
two
on
happy
to that.
today. Yeah, you two happy today, man. I understand we finished.
No.
No.
Do you know why I don't think we need a centre back? And again, we can go into more information about this another time. But I genuinely feel like we're overlooking Tuanzebe. I completely feel like we're overlooking Tuanzebe.
I agree, but I agree, but he's the same as Bally. He's never fit.
He's had one injury. This is what I don't get. He's had one bad injury and he's been out for a season. He's not like he's not injury prone.
But look at that. If Lindelof or Maguire went down, went down,
but
we're bringing on Bailly, who's also injury prone himself. We need somebody in there that's going to play through the games.
The problem is the problem I've got is I actually quite like Lindelof and Maguire as a centre back pairing. And I think Wan-Bissaka's going to improve. I think our real weakness is at left back, really, if you want to have a look at it. But I still think Luke Shaw should have time to pick himself up. Anyway, people saying great show already, and we haven't even said goodbye yet. So I think that's our cue to go. Flawless Tom Neal, Sense, thank you for coming on, lads. Really appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Excited. Top 4 finished, but not only that, 3rd place after where we came from earlier on in the year. That is decent. Flawless, Tom. The rest of that's going to be back. We're going to do some wicked debates this summer as well. Let's roll on to the Europa League, shall we? And hopefully a 10-0 win over Lask on the way, right? Let's say bye now. Take it easy, lads. We'll speak to you soon. And make sure you subscribe to the All for United channel and put on those notifications.